So welcome to our first podcast show.
Hello, listeners. If you're out there, welcome to our first podcast show. This one is going to be titled Our Plan to Make a Plan. And title was given to us by our good friend and colleague here, Victoria Muniz. Victoria?
Hey, guys. I'm really sorry, and I apologize before on behalf of these two weirdos that I happen to work with.
This is going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So basically, we want to talk about why we're doing this, what we want to accomplish with it, and how much fun it's going to be. So why are we doing this, F? Oh, by the way, I'm Sonny Garza.
And I am F. Molina.
And I'm Victoria Muniz.
And Victoria, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
For taking time out of your very busy schedule to be here on our podcast.
I could be doing so many other things on a Friday afternoon.
So, why are we starting a podcast?
I think the reason why we wanted to start a podcast was because there is a void that needs to be filled with regard to a platform to allow interesting people to just come and talk about what they do, who they are, and just shoot the shit with us. I think we both agree we want this to be as raw and honest and hopefully as funny as it can possibly be. So we're certainly not going to be doing advertisements or plugs for people, but if there's somebody in our community who's up to something pretty cool, whether it be a business owner, a politician, or just one of our friends, we also happen to be attorneys here in Hidalgo County. So let me also say that yes, we're lawyers. We're more likely than not going to be talking about legal topics. At no point should any of you listeners consider that to be legal advice because, quite frankly, we might be retarded.
So that's
can't say that word either.
No, can't use that word.
Can't use that word.
I think
quite
that's
frankly,
gonna have to be edited out.
We have to edit that one out.
Nah, we'll leave it in. Just know that we can't say that word anymore. We're sensitive. We're sensitive to that.
Me Too movement, Sonny.
That's not how the Me Too movement works.
I don't think that applies there. I don't.
So yeah, at no point should you take anything we say with regard to cases or law or legal issues as legal advice. Just because you listen to the show, that doesn't mean we're your lawyers, and you can't go tell people that we represent you in anything, okay? But we hope you listen, we hope you enjoy it, and we hope you get to know us and the people that we plan on having on here as interviewees. With that being said, what's going on, guys?
Well, you know what? Let's tell our listeners a little bit about ourselves.
Okay.
So how about you start, Sonny?
I was going to say, how about Sonny? Because Sonny already loves the sound of his own voice.
Yeah, he's already.
Which is also another reason why they wanted to start the podcast, I think, deep down inside.
That's not false.
I know. He has a very, Mexican radio voice, right? Like if he should be, on Mexican radio. Can you try, saying, something, in Spanish?
Gol.
Bienvenido, amigos.
Bienvenido, amigos. So who are we? Well, I'm Pablo Sonny Garza. I go by Sonny, and I've been an attorney now for 9 years. I graduated from law school in Austin, came down here, and I met these two wonderful people at the Hidalgo County DA's office, and they've become two of my best friends. We tried tons of cases together in Hidalgo County. I now have my own practice, and I office with these two weirdos, and we've been having fun ever since. And so between the three of us, we have a ton of people that we know who are interesting people that can talk about topics with regard to, anything from legal cases to
The Chupacabra,
UFOs, health and fitness.
Sonny's favorite topic, CrossFit.
We're definitely going to be talking about CrossFit.
I can talk about a Spartan run.
We can talk about a Spartan run. You were just telling me you signed up for a Spartan run, right?
I did.
When is
it? It's March the 14th in Comfort, Texas.
What's a Spartan run?
So a Spartan run, there's 3 different levels. You have a sprint, which is approximately 3 to 5 miles, a super, which they usually say is between 6 and 9 miles, and the beast, which is usually about a half marathon, 13 miles. And it combines running and obstacles. So a lot of CrossFitters are really into it because CrossFit, it brings in kind of a lot of the movements or some of the strength movements that you would use. It's carrying a bucket full of rocks, sandbags, rope climb.
It's a lot of Olympic movements.
It's a lot of Olympic movements, but you also have to have the endurance to be able to run for about a mile, do an obstacle, run another mile. So the one that I'm doing is the super. So we're looking at probably 6 to 8 miles.
You've done one before, right?
I have. I did one about 4 or 5 years ago. It was also a super. And that one was in Burnett, Texas.
I did one too because you told me it was awesome. And I did a super. And I think I drank river water.
So you had the poops?
No, I didn't. I didn't just have the poops. I had
like that would have been easier.
I ingested some kind of bacteria that almost killed me, man. All kinds of stomach bleeding and what have you. I don't know if I got it at the Spartan race. Could have been the water I had at a restaurant in Westlaco a couple days later.
Don't knock Westlaco like that.
I didn't say the name of the restaurant. I'm just saying.
Gosh, you know, they got their own problems out there right now.
That is true.
For you to be able to bash in the quality of water in Westlaco.
But yeah, no, the Spartan race was crazy. I just remember cramping so much.
Yeah, towards the end of my first Spartan. So that was my first Spartan run where it had the traditional run with obstacles. Last year I did the first Spartan 10K, which was just a trail run. And it actually happened to be at the same site and location as I did the first one. And that you're just running through trail, mountain, up hills. It was terrible. Like the biggest obstacle, in my opinion, is not rolling your ankle on some shit out there.
No, my ankles were black.
Yeah,
I rolled it. I'd gotten these new shoes that Ashley had bought for me, and
who's Ashley?
Ashley's my wife. And they
was
were.
that your first run in them?
That was my first run in them.
Amateur hour.
And I know, and then B. I wasn't wearing socks, and so they weren't wrapped around my ankle very tight. So literally every rock I stepped on, just like crack, crack, my ankles were just black all the way around.
So the question is, why weren't you wearing socks?
Because they were like water shoes. They were like these water.
Yeah, because there's a lot of water obstacles,
right.
So they encourage you to get like a specific trail shoe that it will not soak up the water, and it'll just like basically drop while you're running. When
you're running, it pushes the water out. Well, when I got out of the river, that tread is supposed to keep you on your feet, and I stepped on a rock, slipped off, and I landed on my ribs.
Oh, shit.
And I ran it with my sister and her husband, and they said they heard a crack, and then the next day, the whole
was
right
it your
side,
shorts?
What? Yeah, it was a crack in my shirt. No, the whole side of my ribs were just black. And you know what's funny is we finished the race, and I remember this redheaded dude, this ginger dude standing back of me, and they were handing out these free energy drinks, and I was like, okay, it's free, but it was supposed to be like a recovery drink. Mm-hmm. And me and him opened them at the same time, and I drank it, and I thought to myself, holy shit, this tastes awful. And the guy just spits it out all over me, and he goes, that tastes like piss. So we went back to the hotel, and we're just distraught. My brother-in-law knocks on my hotel room door, and he goes, hey, man, you want to go downstairs and get a Bloody Mary? I really need the salt. I was like, yeah, we'll go, and I'll go. And so we went downstairs, and these two guys who have the Spartan shirt, they're all fucked up, and they look like absolute death. And I look at him, I sit next to them, and I go, did y'all just do the Spartan race? And he goes, yeah. And I go, what'd you think? And he goes, oh, that was brutal. He goes, what'd y'all think? But we were dressed up in like our clothes to go out. Mm-hmm. And I go, how'd you know we did the Spartan race? Because you look like shit. I said, fair enough. Fair enough.
It takes a while to recover. I
It takes a
remember
long time
my
to recover.
shins and my ankles were hurting for fucking weeks.
I didn't work out. Well, A, I got sick. B, I didn't work out from 2015 to 2018 because of it. So I don't know if I want to do another one again.
So the question is why? Why would you? Why would someone want to do the Spartan?
Just to see if you can do it.
Yeah, it's a challenge. It's just like one of the things, like, being an attorney sucks a lot of times, and it's a lot of stress. You're dealing with other people's problems. You're worrying about a whole bunch of shit that you can't control, and so you need some type of an outlet. And so I think most people in this profession are either doing drugs, drinking alcohol, a combination, maybe some hired escorts, or they work out a lot.
I've been an attorney for 9 years, and I don't do drugs.
The other things...
The other things are, yeah, whatever.
Questionable. And so, like, for me, like, I know that if I don't work out, like, a couple days out of the week, it's okay. If I'm having a really stressful week and I go work out, I have, like, a really good run, or I do something very challenging, for whatever reason, that shit just doesn't bother me anymore. It doesn't. So it helps to clear, like, my mind.
Your adrenaline, for sure. That's what, like, when I go to CrossFit in the morning, the reason why I like CrossFit is because by the time you're done, you just feel like you're going to die, and your adrenaline's pumping, and I don't know what hormones they are. I guess we need to look that up. That's what the computer's for.
Maybe like some dopamine?
Yeah, no, I don't know if it's dopamine. Dopamine just makes you happy, but you just don't give a shit about anything.
No.
Not that you don't give a shit, but like little things that would normally bother you, they just don't bother you anymore.
And it's like, there's like a sense of accomplishment. Like, I know, like, when I've finished races, like, I'm doing a 10K tomorrow. I'm running the one in McAllen.
Congratulations! You're gonna run it. Oh, wow.
I use run loosely. It's more like a walking and jog, but yeah.
Turkey trot.
I'm gonna.
Fast walk it.
Yeah. No. I jog more than I walk.
Olympic
I
speed
will say
walking.
that. No. I feel like that's more uncomfortable.
It really is.
And uncomfortable to watch. No, I jog more than I walk. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I kind of like the physical challenge of, like, you know, I did something that not a lot of other people can do.
I like doing hard things. Yeah, I like doing things that are hard. I mean,
That's what she said.
well, I like doing difficult things. I mean, it makes you feel. I don't know. Like, yeah, like you accomplished something. I mean, I'm not attracted to any. Here's another one. I'm not attracted to anything easy.
We're looking at you, Ashley.
Shameless plug. Yep.
But yeah, no, I haven't done a marathon or anything yet, but I don't think I want to.
No, because the guy that ran the marathon, actually died.
Well, here's the thing. People who run marathons, they also shit on themselves. I have no desire to, like, do something physical and shit on
I
myself.
feel like those are the extreme people, though. They're like, I'm a marathoner, so I should shit on myself, as opposed to, like, a reasonable person who's just like, I can fucking hold it.
Yeah.
You have not run a race until you've shitted yourself.
No.
Yeah.
Is it shitted or shit?
No,
Shat.
shitting.
Shat.
Shat.
It must really sting. Like, how do you, like, just press on where
With shit all over you?
yeah,
Yeah,
like,
I don't know,
the
dude.
body's just, like, breaking down. And
If there's, like, a water, like...
It's gotta itch, right?
I would imagine.
Imagine so. It's like the next stop. Give me that Gatorade.
down the hatch as it goes.
Well, you keep talking about, like, us doing, like, the Spartans or running and stuff like that. You used to do runs.
And
Your wife used to make you do that.
Yeah, and I stopped.
But you started up again.
Well, because I realized how crazy it was. Now I do old man, like, exercises.
Are you doing, like, water aerobics?
No, I get on a treadmill, watch TV, and I put it on either 4 or 3 with a little incline, and, you know.
You have to convince Pam to let you do that from The League. You ever seen The League?
Yeah.
The show The League, where he can only watch porn if he's working out. He's just like
All of a sudden,
put
Ef'n
porn on
has
and just
no
run
interest
at
in
it.
watching porn.
Yeah.
He's so skinny now.
Skinny. What's your secret? A lot of porn.
You're like, why is there a treadmill in your office now?
Well, health and fitness is certainly one of the topics we want to get into. Whatever current events are popping up, What else do we need for this, F? We need, what, music? We had a little intro song. Where'd you get that song from?
It actually came with the machine.
I say we leave it then.
We leave it, right? Just, there's no copyright, nothing like that. Just
We
leave
hope.
the machine. I mean, we bought the machine, so
We're gonna get sued by the
it
machine
comes with
people.
everything.
yeah.
Oh, well, I feel like if you don't want us to use your fucking music, don't put it on the machine that it comes with.
Exactly.
I don't know. I feel like it's a lawsuit waiting to happen, guys.
But you think everything's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
That is true.
This is true.
Good thing. Well, I don't know about you all. I'm judgment proof at this point still. So
I technically, I'm still judgment proof.
good luck collecting, people. Good luck.
If you find the money, let me know.
Yeah, you tell me exactly where it is.
And so, Victoria, so we met you at the DA's office.
Yes.
You were a prosecutor for how many years?
8 years.
8 years. So most people are thinking, did you ever try like any big like cases?
I did. I tried a couple of pretty big ones.
Can you tell us about one
That's
of
what
them?
she said. Anyway, keep going.
Anyway. Well, probably the one that got like the most attention is what we all used to refer to as the poop case.
The poop case. Okay.
Yes.
Why was it called the poop case?
The poop case.
I don't
is
know
great.
this story.
You really don't?
I don't.
Okay, so I was in the 206 district court. That's the court that I was assigned to. And they bring this file. Case gets indicted, lands in our court. And at the time, my partner, he was older. He'd been in the district attorney's office a lot longer. So the deal was he did all the, docket bullshit and stuff like that. And I tried cases. I enjoyed trying cases. So I would try, like, the hard stuff. And it was
When you say try cases, you mean
prosecute, like trial, like
trial,
actually
go into trial in front of a jury, getting
pick
a verdict.
jury, get a verdict. Yeah. So this is a double homicide, 1988, in a trailer park in Wesco, Texas. Basically,
The crime happened in 1988.
Yeah.
Was being prosecuted in what year?
maybe like 2012, 2013.
Oh, wow. So about like 30 years later?
Yeah.
Wow.
And at the time, I was the only person in the office who had tried a case that old. Because I tried talking to all of the older prosecutors who had been there for a lot longer than I had, and nobody had tried something that old. I think the oldest somebody had tried was maybe something from like the 90s, but the case had only been like maybe 10 years old or something like that.
How do you accumulate evidence?
It was difficult because like in 1988, it was so bizarre. So the case, it's a trailer park. Basically, officers get called on scene because of shots fired. They get there, and there is they walk in, and the first thing that the people testify to is that it smelled. It smelled like shit. And so they see when you walk in, there's a woman, she's by the phone that was off the hook. She was shot. There's a man in the hallway just behind her who was also shot. They see some things that look like there was rummaged through, like maybe a burglary had taken place. Some of the items that were taken from in the home, there's like a little trail of clothes that were going out, so it looked like whoever was there left in a hurry. So the biggest thing in this case is the investigators and the officers found a pile of crap in one of the rooms in the middle of the floor. And according to the witness statement was, it looked fresh.
Oh, Jesus.
And so at the time, there was really no such thing as DNA comparison, CODIS, anything like that.
What's CODIS?
CODIS is a database that was created, if I'm not mistaken, into the late 90s, where basically it's a huge database where law enforcement agencies will put in known DNA samples or even unknown DNA samples and to see if there's a hit anywhere in the country. And so, for example, if you have somebody who's placed on probation in McAllen, Texas for a felony offense, DNA is taken now as a condition of their probation. It goes into CODIS, and it'll see if their DNA matches to any other DNA that has been submitted as being known to be involved in another crime. So at this point, they have no suspects. They don't really know what happened. You have 2 people who were shot, maybe some things that were stolen because they didn't really have like a good idea as to what happened, and a pile of shit in a room. So they collected.
So the only evidence they had was poop.
Pretty much. No eyewitnesses.
Please tell me the murderer shit after he killed everyone.
We think that was maybe one of the theories.
Okay.
So the CSI person, Pat Hamilton, she collected it, and there were some shorts that were by it that also had shit on them, saved it, and said, well, you know what, we don't know, it's evidence of something, so they sent it off to DPS Crime Lab. And it's funny because I even kept a copy of DPS Crime Lab's response, because usually what they'll do is they receive the evidence and they're like, they'll send it back if they can't test it, and they put a note on the evidence saying, do not think will lead to, I guess, basically anything of value for the case. Like, they didn't think it was a good piece of evidence, so they sent it back. So they keep it stored, whatever, for years go by. CODIS comes around. Then investigators there at Wesco PD decide to submit it to get tested. And they were actually able to get a sample of DNA off of that evidence. Submitted into CODIS. There were no known hits at the time. It sits there for years. And in, let's see, early 2000s, there was a hit. There was a hit based on somebody, I believe it was in Michigan, had broken into a building. They cut themselves on some glass, and they got away, but they submitted this DNA, and it was a match to the DNA that Wesco PD had.
Whoa.
So we still have an unknown person, but we don't know who that person is, but we know that they committed this burglary of a building in another state years later. Mm-hmm. Then they get another hit sometime after, exactly the same thing. I think the guy tried to break open a cash register, cut himself on something, there's blood at the scene, and it's a match to the first burglary of the building, and then that also the double homicide out of Wesco. So then you find that there's kind of a pattern going on with some burglaries, mm-hmm. and this guy just happens to leave his DNA either by accident or on purpose, maybe with the poop. So then fast forward to probably 2012, 2013, this guy, Arturo Sanchez Almaguer, ends up getting popped for a drug case. Gets placed on felony probation. A condition of felony probation pretty much in every state is you submit a sample of your DNA. So he submits a sample of his DNA, and boom, sure enough, it's a hit for all those 3 cases. So now Texas brings him over here to answer for these charges. And then that's how the file lands on my desk.
Very cool. Wow. So how do you know he actually killed someone in the mobile home and didn't just walk in and shit in there?
Well, that was probably the biggest hurt. One, I had no idea what the hell I was going to do with the case. I got the case file. I went and saw our former mentor, Homer Vasquez, who, if anybody knows Homer or worked with him, he's just like the most brilliant legal mind. And I take him the file, I give him the facts, and he's like, shit, Victoria.
Literally.
Was he talking about the case, or was he talking about...
He's like, I have no idea how you're going to do this. And so I'm like, well, that does not make me feel any better, sir. And so I basically take the file apart. I take the file home with me, and I start looking through all the evidence. I'm like, okay, I know a lot of what I don't have. I don't have surveillance video. I don't have eyewitness accounts. I don't have a lot. What do I have? So I put all the pictures of the crime scene, and it was like old school like photographs, which was really cool. It's not like the digital stuff on a CD that you get now. Put them all over my coffee table, and I just looked at them for weeks, maybe even months, to try to figure out what exactly happened. So I just started kind of piecing together, because one of the things that juries want is they want to know the story. Nobody was there. I wasn't there. I was 4 years old at the time that this crime was committed. And so they want to know, like, what the hell happened, so that way we can tell them this is what happened and this is why you should find this person guilty.
How crazy is that? It's like you commit these murders, and unbeknownst to you, somewhere out there's a 4-year-old who's going to bring your ass to justice.
Coming for you.
Just watching Care Bears.
Yep.
Watching Care Bears. She's going to gun for you someday.
Pretty much. That's yeah.
So, like, what was your argument to the jury?
So basically, what I did was I went through all of the photos and I tried to develop a story. One of the things that this mobile home, it looked like, if you looked at it from the picture, from kind of like what it was, like their street view, they had a room that was under construction. And so if you looking into the room, there was no curtains, nothing. It looked like the mobile home was empty. So if you look at it, it was also a Winter Texan kind of mobile home park. So it was known for, a lot of people who don't live here pretty much every day of the year. So I think that also draws a lot of attention to burglars and thieves, because you have homes that are not being manned every day of the year. You look in and it looks like it's under construction, like it's empty. So it was an easy target. So when you go in, you see certain things that are like out of place. And it's crazy, because it's like the shit that they were trying to steal. It's like there was like some silverware that you could tell like the box was kind of out and open. Like one of them old school, like a boom box that you just like kind of carry around was like out of place. You could tell that somebody was fishing through the drawers, like a lot of clothes. And the way I was able to piece it, the person who was inside there.
Excuse me, guys. I got to make a phone call.
Fishing through the clothes was also outside, is that there was a pajama set where the bottom or the top, I can't remember which one, was inside the mobile home, and the matching other half was outside on this trail that was basically part of some of the stuff that was taken, and right next to it was a piece of clothing that also had shit on it that was the same DNA that was found inside the home, and also matched the DNA of this defendant.
So there was like crap everywhere.
There was crap everywhere, yeah. This guy, he either got nervous and had the runs, or the other theory that I had is he was probably on drugs. And I looked up some drugs, they have a bad reaction and it gives you diarrhea. So it was probably maybe even a combination of those two. So another thing that I found is, when I was looking at the man was shot in the hallway, and Dr. Farley was the forensic pathologist who actually ended up testifying as an expert based on a prior forensic pathologist's autopsy report. And it was noted that the entrance wounds were in the front of the chest, exit wound was the back, and the slugs were taken off the, I guess, that back wall.
Well, that brings up like something really like interesting, because the case is like 30 years old, right? Yeah. And you have to track down witnesses,
yes,
whose memory is like 30 years old.
Yeah.
What did you have like any problems?
So the issue with the witnesses is, at the time there were anybody who was living at that mobile home park, they were dead, because I mean, everybody who was living there was
like a 55 or older park, right?
So none of those people were alive. The next thing is going to be the officers. Some of the officers were nowhere to be found. They no longer worked for the PD. They weren't around. I got lucky in this sense, because I found some of the most important people. That CSI person who collected all the evidence, she had just retired, and she was living in the area, and her son was also working for Wesco PD, who was in charge of the cold case department. And so he was actually an investigator at the time, and so he was working on the case, and she happened to be the CSI person, so he was able to get me in contact with her. I was also able to find a couple of other investigators who were involved in the case. One who had actually drawn a diagram. He even said that he had like a weird little diagram kit that he would take on scene, and he would like hand draw everything. He had like his little rulers, his little measuring things, so that way he could diagram to scale. It was pretty bizarre because nobody uses that anymore. But I had maybe like 8 witnesses. There's like, for a capital murder, that's insane.
Wow.
8 witnesses from 1988?
Yeah.
Crazy.
And the crazy thing is that, yes, a lot of people's memories fade over the years, but everybody remembered this case because this was the only crime scene they went to where they found shit in the middle of the floor.
Of course.
And 2 dead bodies. So it's kind of, they said, they're like, I'll never forget that scene. I'll never forget, like, certain things from that.
It's funny you say that. I had a case, and I wasn't a prosecutor anymore. I was on the defense side, and this guy had, I want to say 7 or 8 DWIs, all pending from the early 90s. Like, 1991 to, 1994, this guy went on, a DWI binge. Oh, wow. And none of them had gotten taken care of. So none of them were convictions or dismissed. They were just all pending. And then he does some time in Club Fed. That's federal prison. For those of you who don't know what Club Fed is. He does 10 years at Club Fed. And he comes out, and I get appointed to all these DWIs. And I'm thinking, surely there's no officers that are going to show up for this, right? So I set it for trial, all of them for trial on the same day, thinking,
ha, I got y'all.
None of them, no one's going to show up. No one's going to show up to testify against this guy. Every single officer showed up to testify in the prospective trials of each DWI. Why? Because they remember him so well. They all still work there, but they remember that every time they would pull him over, he would run through a cornfield screaming like a woman with his pants falling off.
Oh, jeez. So, yeah.
So I'm the lucky guy that had to represent that dude.
Did you go to trial in all those cases?
I didn't, no. No, we just reset them all. It was a huge fail.
Reset them all for another 10, 15 years.
Judge, I'm going to need 2 months for this. Yeah. No, I don't know. Being a lawyer is tough.
It is a tough job, right?
It's a tough job.
It's a tough job. It's not like the movies.
No.
It's nothing like the movies, no.
It's worse.
You never really have that super exciting trial like you have in the movies where you get to ask. It's usually pretty boring stuff.
And they don't ever talk about summary judgments in movies, right?
No.
No. That's not sexy. Nobody cares about that.
No one cares about that, right?
No.
Or how a client will sometimes turn on you, right? That's never in the movie.
No.
Never.
That's always in that's in the movie.
Well, it
what was that Matthew McConaughey movie?
I was going to say
Lincoln Lawyer,
I was like,
dude.
Lincoln Lawyer.
For sure.
Ryan Phillippe.
But I mean, if you're representing...
Is it Phillippe or Felipe?
It's Felipe.
It's Felipe, right?
Felipe.
I think it's Phillippe. But
White boy Mexican?
He's white.
No, I think he's French. With a name like Felipe.
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway.
Whatever. First of all, I'm not going to ask you because you don't remember anybody's names or anything.
Oh, yeah. I dish it out because my name's just so bad. So it's like, you know what? If people are going to murder my name, might as well murder everyone else.
Your name is not difficult, Efrain.
No, it has very many pronunciations. Efrain, Ephraim, Efrain.
I like Ephraim. Makes it sound biblical.
Well, Ephraim is different because that ends with an M.
Yeah, and that's what I question.
Not even the same. It's like somebody saying that my name
where
sounds
are
like
people
Veronica.
getting?
Is Ef'n already biblical? Is that a Bible name?
I have no idea.
We have no Bible readers here.
No, but I have done a jail search, and it's
a prominent name.
pretty prominent name.
It's a very prominent name among people who've been arrested.
Very prominent.
My brother's name is Efrain, but he's not been arrested.
He has not been arrested.
No.
And how is his name spelled?
Exactly how yours is spelled.
You know what? I've
E-F-R-A-I-N.
now that we're on names, I've always wanted to know where did you get the name Sonny from? Because your first name is Pablo.
Right.
Where did Sonny come from? Your personality?
No. Maybe when I was a baby. My mom gave it to me. She didn't want to call me Pablo, so. And the nickname because I'm the third, the nickname for the third is Trey. And she didn't think I looked like a tray. And the nickname for the second is Sonny, so she just went with Sonny. And so she called me Sonny. Everybody called me Sonny. And
I mean, you do look like a Trey, like when you walk around the office with your popped collar.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just looks
Looking
like a
very
Trey.
frat boyish.
Yeah, very frat boyish.
And so, Sonny, so you got your bachelor's from Baylor, right?
Correct. We got a new football coach today, actually. I forgot his name already. Hold on. No, but he is the defensive coordinator for LSU, who just won the national championship. So I'm pretty excited about it. Let me see who it is. I'm actually particularly excited about it because he is actually Hispanic. I think. Let's check it out. Let's see. Coach Dave Aranda.
Oh, you don't get any more Hispanic than Aranda.
Yeah, I'm excited.
But I wonder how
that's a big move for Baylor, you know.
I wonder how ESPN is going to pronounce his last name.
Aranda.
And what else in big news is happening right now? We got
Impeachment.
the impeachment.
I haven't been following that.
I know.
Not
It's just
really.
so boring.
I just don't think it's gonna happen.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
I just
Well,
don't
the
think it's
impeachment
gonna
has happened.
The impeachment has happened.
That
but
has
I mean,
happened. He's been impeached,
But-
even though certain people don't understand that concept.
What if he refuses to leave? What if he just says, "Fuck all y'all, I'm staying"?
I feel like that is
That just might
really
happen.
something that could happen.
For sure. And then what does the military do? I mean, I don't know the hierarchy of it.
He's the commander in chief, so what would he
we all
do?
studied con law, right? But who remembers that shit?
Would they basically? I don't know. Would they decide that he's like no longer capable?
I think
of
I saw
keeping his.
I think I saw like that issue on
Does
an
Mike
episode
Pence get
of.
to order the military to remove him from the?
I don't think he would. You think he would?
No, I think it would be like the typical situation where you have like any other landlord who has a tenant that's just like overstayed their welcome. You shut off the water and the lights. And just hope that
At the
leave.
White House and just hope that they leave eventually. Yeah, I don't know. He's not going to get removed, though. They don't have the votes in the Senate. Mitch McConnell has already said that
Can't stand Mitch McConnell.
they're
He's
not
like an
going
old turtle.
to.
He's saying he's unbiased. He's saying
He's
Bullshit.
unbiased, but then he's like, we're
Bullshit.
not going to call any witnesses. How the fuck do you have a trial without witnesses?
Yeah. How do you?
Like, what?
Who's going to testify to the documents?
Exactly. Who's going to prove anything? They're like, no, we don't need to hear from witnesses. It's going to be completely unbiased, impartial, but we already made our decision that he's not going to be removed. So it's like, what the fuck? That's not how this works.
Yeah, that's
It's
not. It doesn't
it's,
sound
this
very
is a
fair.
mess. This is a mess.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound-
That's why I haven't been following. I mean, maybe I should to be a responsible adult, right? But I got plenty of other shit that I need to be worried about.
Yeah. No, I just find it really bizarre. I think right now would be like a great time to take like a political science class, because I remember like in college, like how fucking pumped I was about like some of the poli-sci classes that I took. Really good professors.
Were you a
Just-
poli-sci major?
Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, I took Mexican politics. I took some political class, like dealing with like the Middle East, like foreign affairs. Like, so I'm just curious, like how they run those classes now with all the fucking garbage that's been going on in politics, because it's completely different.
I'm pretty sure they all sit around and watch episodes of The Apprentice. And just figure out.
Who's gonna get fired next?
Yeah.
There goes Flavor Flav.
You're fired.
Here goes Flavor Flav. Oh man,
It's a bizarre time to live in.
it is a bizarre time to
The
live.
county courthouse is going up.
Yeah.
It's going up fast.
The county courthouse is going up
really
fast.
I just want to know one fucking question. Why is there not a parking lot, a parking garage going up at the same time?
I know there's one. I don't know that for sure. I believe there's one going up.
Well, from what I had heard is that they're going to tear down the old courthouse. It's a big pile of garbage anyways, full of asbestos, I think. And the big idea was to put some landscaping.
Let me help you here.
Oh, I didn't know that we could do that.
Sound better now? See?
Yay. Okay, we're gonna have to do all of that all over
No,
again.
we can hear you just fine.
Yeah,
it's
we
just
can hear
now
you
we
just fine.
now
Now it's
there's not as
more-
much of an echo.
Gotcha.
You sound
Okay.
more Darth Vader-ish now.
Yeah. I've been called worse. That's okay.
The Black Widow.
Oh yeah, the Black Widow. That was your nickname.
That was my
The
nickname.
Office, right?
I like that nickname though.
Yeah, the Black Widow.
I was a killer whale. I don't know why.
Because we saw you coming from a mile away. No, but to the courthouse, yeah, they were gonna tear down the old courthouse and put some fucking landscaping. And I'm like, really? I don't need trees. I need a place to park my car when I have to go to the like court hearings and shit. And anybody who works for the county or has business in the courthouse realizes and knows how important parking is, because it is a shit show right now.
Well, it's like, I don't know. I mean, Austin, San Antonio, finding parking at those courthouses is brutal.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're trying to do. So
But-
maybe like the big cities.
But I mean, the difference, well, and I don't know, like
You don't.
how these courthouses were created or whatever, but I feel like those courthouses, they were created and then shit just went up around them. So they didn't really have a choice regarding parking. Here, we have a perfectly viable spot to put a parking garage. And they're like, no, let's just put some like really nice like trees.
Think about how dangerous it would be to build. Hey, you just built a brand new courthouse. Then you're going to tear down the old courthouse after the new one's done right next to it. It's like, shit, guys, we just knocked down the new building. Could that happen? I mean, maybe. I know the guys to ask.
I was gonna say, if they don't have a concern knocking down or creating some type of damage to the current courthouse right now while they're building,
Right. I guess you're right. Yeah, they don't have any concern causing damage to the current courthouse.
I think it'd be, I mean, if they did it on the weekend, it'd be kind of a blessing, but.
A weekend demolition
Yeah. of a building.
in downtown Edinburgh.
Is that considered downtown Edinburgh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
Down.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like downtown McAllen.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. There's not downtown Edinburgh has less flower shops and
It's true.
Less quinceañera dresses.
less quinceañera jars.
No,
Chinese goods.
no bus stop.
Oh, the bus stop. The bus stop.
And it has like one establishment to get alcohol at, I think.
Have y'all gone to the food trucks that are across the street from downtown McAllen?
Yes.
Which one? Well, A, what's out there, and B, which ones have you gone to?
The times that I've gone to, it's just purely like taqueria tacos, because the times that I've gone, I've had Ryan with me. Ryan is my boyfriend. And he loves going over there just to get like
Tacos? And they're good?
Oh yeah, super good.
Wow. Fresh tortillas?
Yep.
That's how I judge a taco.
Very good. They
Better than Stripes?
don't talk shit on Stripes.
I'm not talking shit on Stripes. I think Stripes is probably the best breakfast taco you could possibly get.
Best bang for your buck.
The problem-
What, 119?
The problem I have with Stripes is that every time I go to Stripes,
You got that one.
I
dipshit.
never get like a line of people. I get the one person. I'm behind one person. They're like, "Oh, yo quiero 20 tacos." What? You want 20 tacos? Holy shit,
I have
man.
the same fucking problem when I drive to Chick-fil-A and I'm like, I'm just trying to get my one meal, and you're parked behind somebody in the drive-thru who's ordering for the whole fucking office.
Starbucks.
You know what? No.
That happens at Starbucks to me a lot too.
Like, just call it in ahead, go inside. Like, the drive-thru is for like a quick, like maybe 2-3 meals, and then just get on your fucking business.
I wonder where they get these ladies to basically work at Stripes.
Really, you're gonna ask that question?
Yeah, because I mean, they are the nicest, meanest ladies you'll ever meet.
Nicest, meanest. They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
The ones that are close to my house, the Stripes that's close to my house, they're very nice. And they also have some gentlemen working back there too. They're very nice.
Yeah,
They put a little extra piece of bacon sometimes in my tacos.
if you're nice, if you're nice to them,
Yeah.
say thank you. But when they're really busy, it's like they ignore you. They're
No,
like,
I feel like if I go in and I'm looking like real busted, they're like, "Hi, pobrecita, she should, here's." They're like, "She's having a rough enough
She's
day.
gonna need an extra piece of
Let's give her an
bacon."
extra piece of bacon."
Anyway, we were talking about the food trucks in McAllen before I changed the subject to Stripes. So just you've been to the taco trucks?
So I've been to the
out there.
taco trucks, but they have like that place. I was really torn because I also wanted like a Mexican hot dog. So they had those on.
What's a Mexican hot
What's a Mexican hot dog?
Is it legal? Can you talk
So-
about
Aside from what I think you mean.
No, Sonny, you were not on the menu. So it's like a regular hot dog, but they usually will wrap the hot dog in bacon and they will put like avocado, like queso fresco, lettuce, and like just like a whole bunch of like extra shit on it. Super, super delicious.
I don't know. I don't agree with wrapping shit in bacon. I feel like you could wrap a shoe in bacon and it would be awesome.
So why do you not agree with
cheating.
it?
Well, it's cheating.
It's not cheating. It's genius.
It's cheating.
What I think is like cheating is when you go to these fancy restaurants and they're like, "Would you like some pork belly?" And you're like, "Pork belly, yeah."
Well, yeah, pork belly's fantastic.
But it's bacon.
It's
just bacon.
It's fancy.
Just really thick pieces of bacon on a fresh corn tortilla with salsa. Oh my god.
Are we gonna eat after this?
Are we gonna eat after this? Yeah, no. The best tacos I had in a really long time were actually in Arizona, guys. I hate to say it. But yeah, I was in Arizona for some depositions, and we went to a place called the Taco Guild. And so I'll be 100% honest. The court reporter recommended we go to this place called Taco Guild, right? I come from the land of tacos, and I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me?
You were
like,
offended.
You're sending the Mexican to the taco place. Got it.
And Sonny's also very snobby about food, in case y'all haven't realized that.
That's not false.
But the place has the word guild in it. That's
Yeah,
pretty,
it has guild.
That sets like a high standard. I mean, it's the
Maybe.
guild of tacos.
So the attorney I was with at these depositions, he wanted to try it, and I figured, let's not be a snob in front of people you don't know. Let's try this taco place. Can't possibly be as good as our tacos down here, but we're gonna give it a go. So we take a lift over to the place, and just from looking at the place, it was built in an old church with these old, like, big blocks, and had a wooden steeple cross in front of it. And we walk in, and where the altar used to be was now a like shrine of tequila. So instantly,
Sonny was sold.
I was sold. I saw a shrine of tequila. I was just like, okay, I'm done. You've won my heart. We sit down. They have like, I think 8 to 10 tacos to choose from on the menu, but that's all they have on the menu, and they're reasonably priced. They're not pretending to be something, anything more special than what an actual taco is, And by reasonably priced, I mean they were like within $5 to $7 to $8. They weren't one of these fancy taco places that's trying to charge you like $30 for 3 little tacos. Where they did get you is the drinks, because the drinks were like $18, and so. But I'm okay with that. The drinks part doesn't piss me off. I get pissed off when I see tacos for a ridiculous price.
Yeah, because Stripes.
They're tacos, man.
Stripes sets that standard. Anything above $1.19.
Yeah,
you're kind of suspicious.
Yeah, right. So the one taco I had that we were having a conversation about the case that we were on, and
what type of taco did you order?
Well, that's what I'm gonna get at. It's called a cherry beef, and apparently it's like pulled beef that was marinated in like cherry juice or something, with all kinds of add-ons in the taco, and the tortillas were fresh as could be, freshly made corn tortillas, and while we were talking, I bit into the taco, and it was one of those where you had to do a double take. You're just like, whoa, what was this? It was fantastic. So I had 3 tacos, and then my drink was $18. But I'm okay with that. Like I said, I was like, the drink part you can screw me on, but not the taco.
So did it actually have cherry like in the beef? Like
no, I mean you couldn't taste it. You couldn't taste it. It was just really good.
And what type of like?
I also had a lamb taco. It was like
lamb taco,
like a lamb barbacoa taco.
Lamb barbacoa taco.
That's what barbacoa is like usually made out of.
Originally,
right? Originally made out of, right?
Lamb, yeah. Now cows are cheaper, I guess.
Maybe. Right. Oh, lambs are expensive now, right?
Lambs are real expensive.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. But you're the taquero, dude.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Molina's Mexican food. Yeah.
Molina's Mexican food, right?
Long time ago. Yeah. Barbacoa tacos. So
what are we doing with this podcast, Steph? Where are we going to go with it? Who do we want to invite?
What we got to do is just focus on interesting topics. Get some interesting people on here. Have people listen. Hopefully, learn something from the people we have on. Have it spark their curiosity and maybe spark discussion too.
Yeah,
that'd be really cool.
I'm down.
So
cool.
Until next time.
Victoria, are you going to be joining us for more podcasts?
Maybe. This was fun. I just feel like we're just sitting in the office shooting the shit.
That's what I want it to be.
we usually do when
yeah,
we
no,
should be working.
That's what I think is important to maintain. I really don't want this to be an interview of any sort. I just want to shoot the shit with people. I just want to sit down and talk and laugh. Maybe have a drink. Maybe not have a drink. I'm not drinking right now. This dry January thing is some bullshit, dude.
Yeah, I don't.
It's a thing.
It is. I've seen it like on GMA and shit. Like people want to kind of like reset.
My sister lives in London, and she says that it is a really serious thing that Londoners do. It's this dry January thing, but I feel like I'm dying.
You look okay though.
I feel like it was the other night. Oh, was it Wednesday? After our mediation on Wednesday, I felt like I could kill an entire bottle of tequila. And I was like...
Did you?
Wait for it. I felt like I was going to kill a whole bottle of tequila, but I told myself, you have to do something healthy. I told myself, you've got to go for a run.
Did you get a box of Kleenex and some lotion?
We don't know if that's actually healthy. I heard it causes hand warts. But no, I said I got to go for a run. And so I didn't run, but I also didn't have any tequila. So there.
Well, that's good. That's
I went to bed thirsty, and I woke up with a hangover. I woke up with a headache, despite the fact that I didn't drink. So yeah, there we go.
So maybe for our next podcast, we have Richard Gonzalez, who also
Richie
with us, and he's running for something, right? Congress or something like that.
He's running
Constable
or Congress.
Alderman.
We'll let him explain. Well, maybe we can have Richie Gonzalez on here.
Yeah, come on here. The next one he could.
I want his campaign manager on here.
Elijah
Lynch and Sons.
Mm-hmm. That is an interesting cat.
Yeah.
Number one, I don't think we have the budget for it. And number two, I think the censors will definitely, the stuff he knows and the things he might say, I think that the federal government will definitely shut down our podcast.
Well, all right. Well, thanks for listening, if you're listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.